How do you guys set up your relationships, for lack of a better word, with women from the very beginning? So I'm not referring to relationships as in long-term relationships, but you meet a woman. She could be a fling, she could be one night stand, she could be around for a few weeks, or she could be your future wife potentially. How do you frame your relationships from the very beginning, especially when you're coming from the perspective of I'm still going to date more women? How do you deal with this situation? Or equally, when she says, "What are we?" Although those aren't normally the words she would say exactly. How
I
do you
think then
guys?
it's if I can start, I think that it's already too late in my opinion. If she asks you what are we now, I think you already set the wrong frame from the very start. If you're up to for a short, as you said, fling or fuck buddy, whatever, I think you set the frame right from the start, and this will never pop up because she will know we're just this. And she will never ask you the question. If she asks you the question, I think that it's already too late. You already framed it in the wrong way, where she kind of has the hope that it will be more, or she's unsure herself. But yeah, it's but yeah, I let the other guys like have
Yeah, I think girls aren't dumb. I think there's also, especially if you are getting tons of girls and you are high value, um, for the few select guys, there's kind of like a unspoken rule that, for example, I for Mark's pool where they know you're banging other chicks, they're just not going to question it just because you're giving them everything they want and need, basically. But for the average guy, you have to be very upfront and forward from the very beginning about what you're looking for and what's going to happen. Most guys are actually pretty open. You know, if they have daddy issues, they're probably going to be more open to doing crazier things. But just in general, just being straightforward with them and setting your boundaries and your standards from the very beginning is all you need to establish whatever kind of relationship you want to have with her.
But Jesse, to not mislead guys, I think you mean leading by action and not really by words, because that's why I think guys
Yeah,
they always
you do
get these
both.
words. Or,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can do
because
both,
guys,
right?
yeah.
You can do both. It's encouraged to do both, actually. But yeah, you have to be straightforward with what you want from the beginning, and then if there's a disagreement of some sort, then you can handle it, right, with her. But this is obviously, a week maybe into the relationship or however long you want to wait, but it does have to be addressed at some point with her. You can't keep around a rotation for forever. It's just not how it works.
Yeah, the way I look at this is probably something that most guys fuck up with within like the dating space, right? They might get to a point where they can approach, build attraction, maybe even like fuck a lot of girls. But I think the real issue a lot of guys have is like setting the right frame here. And so what I encourage for my students as well is everything should be casual from the very beginning. I don't care if I got a student that's like, yo, and I've had this obviously, I want to get married, right? I'm looking for the right girl and I want to get married. My advice is always start casual, because you are not going to know if this girl is marriage material or even like dating material, like girlfriend material, unless you're like 6 months in, right? Because there's so much you need to actually find out about this girl that you just won't experience. Like, you need to see what this girl is like under tension. You need to see what she's like if you guys have a disagreement. You need to see what she's like around her friends. You need to see what she's like around your friends or women you're around. Like, all these things you can't tell on like the fucking second date. So these guys that I see that are like, yo, this is like the third date with a girl, I think I want to make her my girlfriend. It's like, yo, slow the fuck down. All right. So you set a casual frame. And what that means is, as Pat mentioned, is behaviors. Okay. You could tell a girl, I've had students that do this to girls, hey, I just want something casual. And then the behaviors are they message the girl every single day. They see her 3 times a week. They're going on dinner and they're like, Marcus, what's up? Like, this girl is like now confused and angry at me and saying I'm like giving her the wrong. I'm like, bro, you're treating her like a girlfriend. Everything's stripped. But one time, like a month ago, you said you wanted something casual, means nothing. Behaviors are what matter. And as you guys mentioned, it's going to depend on the girl. Some girls that are like, I could have a fucking gangbang with them the first night. They know I'm a sex coach. They know like I'm complete. Like with these girls, yeah, I could
Actually,
get away
I met
with
Marcus,
behaviors.
guys.
Say it again.
That's how I met Marcus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you could get away with behaviors like maybe messaging a little bit often, right? So you need to think, okay, where does she sit on this spectrum of what she perceives this relationship to be? At the beginning, you keep it casual, and then you decide, you filter these girls out. Is this someone I want as a fuck buddy? Is this someone that I want as like something casual, more serious? Is this someone that I want in an open relationship? Is this something I want exclusive? And so over time, the girl earns that privilege. Over time, she will ask, yo, what are we? Where is this going? And you can give her more and more as what I consider like privilege. And then, yeah, when you reach that 6 month or even later time period where you've decided, yo, she's met all my checklists, I've set the right frame here, I know that she's really into me and she's chasing, this is where I can make it a little bit more serious, a little bit more official, and make this woman like exclusive or my girlfriend or whatever you're actually looking for. But always start off as casual, always set the right frames, always reflect and think about what behaviors you're showing, and then from there build on that. I think this is something that a lot of guys are missing.
And I mean, you have to be clear and respect as well that it's just a phase and it will be over. It's just sooner or later, as Jess said, and I think Rolo said as well, it depends on her phase as well, which phase she's in currently. Does she want to have like, okay, now I'm like living the single life, or I want to settle down for a relationship? It depends,
Yeah, I think you can also set the frame pretty hard though, right? Like I've had a lot of girls that might be looking for something serious, as we spoke about before. But I will be like,
Yeah.
okay, you can look for something serious, but I'm happy to have something casual with you. And that's the frame that I'm setting. Me and you, fuck buddies, while you go find your like man with, and this has happened. Like there's so many girls I used to be fuck buddies with that gave me that I'm looking for marriage. And they found someone, they're married, some of them have kids and shit. That's cool. And then I also have some girls that are in that phase of like, yo, I just got out of a relationship. I just want to fuck around. This is all I want. We start out as casual, but over time, like, yo, this girl, I kind of like her, right? I want something a little bit more serious with. Obviously, she enjoys my company. She enjoys being around me. I slowly set more serious frames and she falls into that. So I think it is something to like keep in mind, right? Like if a girl is just looking for something like fucking casual, you don't want to be that guy being like, hey, here's some flowers and let's go to dinner and I bought you some chocolates. But over time, that is a frame you can set. Like I think that's important to understand, is that you can really have a lot of control over what this dynamic is. Because I've also had girls that are like, I would never do open. I'm so jealous. I could never do that. I would, and we have open relationships. So it is difficult. Like it does require like, let's say like more advanced skills than going up and approaching a girl. But yeah, it is under your control, I'd say.
I'm curious about Michael's take here because he was just nodding, but I don't know how much he agrees or maybe disagrees. Let's hear.
No. I mean, this is all great. You got to do it in the beginning. A question I often get is like 6 months in. He's like, I want my girlfriend to start having threesomes with me, and I'm like, bro, this is. I'm not saying it's impossible, but this is something you should have brought up in the beginning. When I met Kylie, we spent a weekend together. We met in Mexico during a pageant. She was one of the finalists in the bikini pageant. Then I flew her out one time, and then afterwards she's like, where are we? Where is this going? All this kind of stuff. Because we had a discussion, and I explained to her, because I didn't want to be in a relationship with her. I was like, there is no relationship where we don't have sex with women together. I'm just letting you know, I'm very happy being single. I very much enjoy being single, but I really like being with you. And I know you're attracted to women. So if you're comfortable with this, and then that's fine. And then she came here, and that's what our relationship has been. That was the thing that I set forth in the beginning, because I did want to be in a relationship with her. I would like to have kids at some point. She's 25 years younger than me. She wants to have kids. And so like this kind of works. I'm 46 years old. So I think at some point, if I want to have kids, I need to do it pretty soon. So that was the deal. With previous relationships, it's been kind of the same thing. I let them into my life. I keep it casual, and I kind of let them earn different privileges in my life, and they kind of understand. And like what Marcus said, rule number one in MOA is we don't listen to the words. We only pay attention to people's actions. Often I'm on a date with a girl who says, I would never cheat on my boyfriend right before she cheats on her boyfriend with me. Often I'm on a date with a girl who says, I would never have sex on the first date right before she has sex on the first date. Often I'll sit there and listen to girls just give every kind of excuse about why they won't do this or that. And that's exactly what they do. I won't go back to my ex. They go back to their ex, yada, yada, yada. So for me, if I talk to a girl, I say, hey, I just want to keep this thing casual, whatever. She may say the same thing. And what I found is that if we're having sex, I have the option to make this more serious if I want, regardless of what she says. Even if she says, I don't even want to be in a relationship, you have that option. But the other thing I've noticed that's really great is that because women have so many options with men, or at least they believe they do because of the social media interactions, they tend to deal with rejection way better than we do. It's usually a little butthurt in the beginning, but they just kind of get over it quickly. Also, when a girl likes me and I put her in the friend zone, they tend to deal with it better than the way I see men do. They tend to be able to just move on because they have so many more options with men. So they can just quickly move on to the next thing. So
with ending relationships, the same thing.
Would you say?
The ending relationships, the same thing. Like she can move.
Well, yeah.
On men are heartbroken for a half year.
Yeah, women end relationships more than men, but I just look at it from an evolutionary standpoint. Throughout our ancestral period, it was men killing other men, and so you'd be sitting there. Your husband would have been killed in battle. You have the choice of taking another husband or dying without children. So you would take another husband. So the proclivity to take another husband or to monkey branch or to switch partners was the proclivity that stayed amongst Homo sapien females, and the ones that didn't, as noble as they are, were not able to pass on their genes. So ergo, women are able to get over breakups and move from one guy to another easier than we as men are with their emotional connection. We're able to move with our penis from one girl to another quicker than they are, but for their emotional connection from one guy to another, once it's over and they monkey branch to the next one, they can, because it's a function of survival for them, and it's a function of procuring resources for their possible offspring. Even if they consciously don't want to have any kids, this is still going on in here.